Alright, update on ticker symbol MOOV. Now I'm going to make this a very quick update because my opinions on the market have not drastically changed from yesterday, and also there's really only 2 or 3 things that I want to point out, that including 2 very important price levels that MOOV needs to either get above or break below if we're going to be bullish or bearish. So let's jump right into the video. Like I said, it's going to be a quick one, so we'll dive right in. Yesterday we were talking about how we predicted that MOOV was going to break down. At the moment of recording yesterday, we were around about 3.1 cent, and I mean, it wasn't the biggest brain call to, you know, predict a move to the downside. I feel like a monkey could have looked at the charts yesterday and said everything's going down, this is the price target, and most of them would have been hit. But nonetheless, we did hit our price target, so that is good. We did come down. Why did we call this a very important price target level? Well, simply this is your 786 Fibonacci, drawing from the lows of your uptrend all the way up to the top of the uptrend. You extrapolate this, you have your 786 Fibonacci, and while we did overshoot the price target by a small amount, actually a fairly large amount, yesterday we overshot it by 10%, today we came back down at about another 12%, but you can see these candle body closes were perfectly on your 786 Fibonacci, so technically speaking, this uptrend that we're in for MOOV is not invalidated. And you know, we can't really, I don't think there's any justification of me moving the trend line down to something like this until we do have more touch points, until we have more data traded, because, you know, at least the way that this is, you've got 1, 2, and then a plethora of touch points here. I really do think this pattern is valid, and I'm not going to be moving it over just because we've got 1 touch point here. So this is what I think needs to happen for MOOV. The EMA ribbons are converging on themselves right now. Let me mark this like a neutral color, so you know this is the big zone that we either need to get above or below. So on the daily time frame, you can see these daily EMA ribbons, they're still bullish, but as we are below them, they're going to start converging, and there's going to be some very strong resistance levels coming into the levels of 3.2 cent, and the top of these EMA ribbons coming in at basically 4 cent. Let's call it 4 cent to make it easy. These are going to keep constricting, and whenever these EMA ribbons constrict, they have a big move. What do I mean by that? Well, you can see the EMA ribbons went from bearish to bullish. They really constricted them on themselves here. Huge move. Now you can see the EMA ribbons are much more loose and spread out. And what happened? We very gently, almost like rocking a baby to sleep, just kind of rocked back into these EMA ribbons, and basically MOOV went to sleep for a couple of days, chilled out in these EMA ribbons. As you can see, we were at the bottom of the EMA ribbons, and this meant that the short-term moving average at the top started to converge on the long-term moving average. They got constricted. What did we do? Boom. Huge move. Since then, once again, the EMA ribbons have been much more thicker and much more loose than they previously were. So, you know, once again, we very gently rocked into these EMA ribbons, but now we are below the long-term moving average, and this is one of the worst types of constriction, because this means the long-term moving average, as it's a long-term moving average in the name, is going to very slowly move down, something like this if we hypothetically just keep on going sideways. But the short-term moving average is going to come down like this, and we can expect a huge move, in my opinion, within the next couple of days, but most likely, well, I was about to say in the next week, but most likely in the next couple of days. So what are these price targets that I've been talking about? Very simply, you've got this uptrending level of support. This is a huge channel. If we come up to, let's say hypothetically, we come up to, you know, 3.6, 3.7 cent. If we do it today, it will be 3.6. But this is just taking into account that, you know, we might come in today, we might come in late today, we might come in tomorrow. Nonetheless, round about that 3.6, 3.7 cent region, if we do come up and we put in a rejection, then we would absolutely be coming back to your 786, which is 2.6 cent, but we would need to hold 2.6, because what happens if we break below 2.6 cent, which is once again your 786 Fibonacci, confirm it as resistance and break back down? Well, you can see there is no data traded between the previous accumulation range and the 786 Fibonacci. So this could potentially mean a 76% move back down to the lows for Dotmoov. Am I personally predicting this? No, not at this moment in time at least. I would much prefer to sit on the sidelines for this one, see how Bitcoin is able to react, because Bitcoin is moving pretty lackluster right now. It is very, very boring and showing some extreme weakness. We've even got a head and shoulders pattern. So I do feel like, unfortunately, the breakdown is more likely. I wouldn't be betting on it. Like, I'm really not trading altcoins at this moment in time, but keep your eyes on this trend line, 3.6 to 3.7 cent. If we break back above there and hold it for the next couple of days, we could be saving ourselves from a nasty drop. And remember, 2.6 cent. If we break below 2.6, this 786 is invalidated. If we have a daily close below 2.6, the uptrend is invalidated. What would that mean? That would mean that most likely we'd be moving all the way back down here, another 75% drop. That is all I've got for Dotmoov. Probably took a little bit longer than initially anticipated. I did just want to run through these important levels that we've got at this moment in time. We've got some okay buying volume coming in, not that much considering these bearish engulfing candles the past couple of days. These squeeze momentum, bears are definitely in control in the higher time frames. Coming into the lower time frames, we're seeing a tiny bit of green stepping in. This is a good sign, but it's not good enough until you're above this trend line. Like I said, you can have all the buying volume in the world to bring us back up to 3.6 cent. If you get rejected, it's going to be a very, very scary time for Move. That is all I've got for you. As always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.